Hi Leo, welcome to your July reading and happy early birthday to all those July Leos out there. Okay. So, your day in the sun approaches and you have so much on your mind. You have so many things you would like to change. And like that, the July 5th eclipse happens and things begin to change. You realize now that your heart's just not in what you're doing. Yeah, you like it, but it's been gnawing at you that it's not what you want to do and it doesn't agree with your morality. And as the sun moves into your sign in late July, you will definitely move on it. But even as the sun enters Cancer, you begin to have that light shining in your subconscious going, are you happy, Leo? Sure, you get what you want. But are you happy? Sure. It's going the way you want it to go. But are we even swimming in the right direction? It's hard to tell. And then, just like that, something happens that reminds you of what it feels like when something actually feels great and fulfills your spirit. And you say, none of these other things in my life are quite satisfying me. I am so done with this. With this job, with this arrangement, with this lifestyle. I just really want to focus on what makes me the happiest by myself and have this Ace of Cups come find me. And the entire universe supports you all through July and August. Do as you will, Leo. All the things you wish for are so close now, right behind you. You just have to make up your mind that you don't want your current situation any longer, and boom, things start to move. You have some decisions to make that they include legality, but really they're about fairness, they're about morality. Like I said, there's certain things that you just walk away from because they don't suit your spirit anymore. And that's it. You can't make them make sense anymore. 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands. Other than that, everything is going super well. Your love life picks up quite some. And if you're really in the mood to get into a relationship, you can make it happen. But it all has to do with being true to yourself. It's a really special time because the focus is on you, but not in a selfish way. On a way that just makes you more and more you. Excuse me. And that brings out just so much joy. You go from the misery of trying to be in a relationship to being in a really happy one. You go from the misery of self-defeating behavior to a well-oiled machine that runs without supervision. It's saying a lot because these changes don't come externally. No one is making you make these changes. Sure, Mars in Aries is definitely helping you and providing extra fire, but the direction is all yours. And for the first time in a long time, Leo is not afraid at all to break it down to the actual bottom of it and get rid of it and move on and walk off. It takes a lot for a lion to walk off, but when they do, it's because they realize that the fight just isn't worth it. Go ahead and bark. I'm not listening. That, walking away from, beginning new, beginning and doing what you want, that is where you're at. And it's super beautiful. And it brings you a lot of joy, a lot of calm, and a lot of progress. And all you have to do to honor this progress is simply care about what makes you feel good, what makes you happy, what brings you joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. If it doesn't make you happy, get rid of it. If it keeps letting you down, get rid of it. If it's a constant disappointment when you have to try to explain it away to yourself, get rid of it. Walk out of it. And although that may seem like really extreme instruction, everything in your astrology, everything in the card supports it. Do as you wish. Do what makes you happy. Leave everything else to the side. And what will emerge out of you is perhaps a new profession, a new relationship, a revitalization of your own life, your lifestyle, the way you eat, the way you dress, the way you take care of yourself, where you live, everything gets wrapped up in this. Because you truly are focusing just on you, and you want to. You don't feel guilty. You're not thinking about other people and thinking, oh, how are they going to react? Doesn't matter. You don't care anymore. You're just focusing on the happiness of your heart. And it pays you dividend after dividend after dividend. It may set up for you 6 months of being this way, which would be incredible. But for now, let's start where we are. I love you. Let's look at these cards. Hi, Leah. Welcome to the second part of your reading. So from the first card out, you can see that things go very, very well in July. It's just about making enough space, having enough room, not having anything already working in your field that doesn't attract good things. You know what that is. It's either the job you can't stand anymore, it's the friend who's just draining you, it's old connections that, even though they have nothing new to offer, can't stop from coming around, trying to confuse the situation. But you've got your head screwed on straight in July, and you're just really not in the mood for it. So, Ace of Cups, that is a great sign of your receptivity. You're open to it. Yeah, new love, new money, whatever it is, I'm good. 9 of Pentacles. I don't need it, but I'll take it. Because you're already feeling 9 of Pentacles, that richness and spirit. You've got it. 9 of Wands. I know I don't see the end yet, but I know I have everything I need to reach my goal. And as you adopt more and more this belief, it comes to you. The Star. You've been wishing for some of these things for a while now. It's been a long time. And perhaps some of you had given up on those dreams, but 2 of Wands, July wants you to dream again. Because it's all so close now. Now you just need to reach your paw out and grab it. It's right there now. Especially when it comes to things that you thought were deeply unfair. That really rattles you, right? So Justice, 2 of Wands is like, that will be taken care of. Now you need to look beyond that. What next? What happens now? 2 of Cups, 4 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. There is so much room for goodness to come in. But where you're hanging on to resentment about how it's gone in the past, you'll have a few moments here and there in July where you get to work that out. You're letting it go because what you realize is that even just the hanging on to the good parts is toxic. It's just another way of hanging on. You know, sometimes I feel like maybe Leo's not capable of completely letting go. But then months like July happen and I realize, no, Lions, once they've had enough, they really have had enough. It just takes a long time because you have compassionate hearts and you want very much to believe in people's goodness. And that's not a bad thing, and July doesn't take that from you. But what it does is it takes people who are not good for you away. And you, unlike previous months and years, you don't fight it. Instead, you find the lesson in it. You're like, oh yeah, that's why. Got it. Yeah, no, that was never gonna work. That was never the right move. Now, you may not see it until the person's already left, but that's okay. Because what's new, what has you excited, what's really getting you going is not this old stuff. You start to lose the sting, the current in those old memories, because whatever is new is so much better for you. So you have this conversation with yourself in late July. Now, do I hold on to that which is basically a toxic trait within me? Or do I accept it the way it was, stop resenting it? Because here's the tricky part about not resenting. Whatever has happened between you and another person, between you and a job, between you and a parent, whomever it is, whatever has happened was half your doing. And I know that's a really tricky thing to say to a Leo, but until you can admit that, that thing has a hold of you. Ironic, right? You would think that if something was completely somebody else's fault, that it would be really easy to let go of, but it's not, because you're disavowing your half. So you're still in some way actively a part of that toxicity, right? Because you've taken no accountability for it. Now, does that mean that something was necessarily your fault, as in this happened to you because you did something? No, I'm just saying you're a party to it. You're both a party to whatever happens. Half of that accountability is yours. Not that you did anything wrong, just that you were a part of something. And until we take that accountability, culpability, whatever you want to call it, even if it's for the most mundane aspects of it. Well, I didn't hurt anyone, but I did keep myself engaged. Okay, well, that's your part then. Until you realize that that has to be done, that you have to acknowledge that toxicity, it'll stay. It can't go. It can't make room. Because in a very real way, you're still involved in it. You're still not seeing it. Now, in late July, what happens is, boom, you see it. Okay. Perhaps your only crime was that you thought it should be better than it was. Whatever the reason, why you hung on, how long you hung on, all of that becomes really, really clear to you. And as it becomes clear to you, again, very quick learners, you're like, oh, yeah, no. Mars in Aries is there to fuel your fire in every way possible. And before things can even come crashing down, you're already on the move. You're like, oh, I see where this is going. Cool, bye. And once you've safely left the building, it begins to collapse. That is the Leo instinct. That is what I like to see, is that you trust your intuition enough that you're able to make really big decisions based on first understanding yourself and then understanding what you just haven't understood before. What you learn in July about you in the context of relationships is so important. And it hits you like that, like a flash. And Mars in Aries, your intuition, it's there to be like, yes, go with that. And you head off on a new road. By the time whomever, whatever comes along to destroy what you had created, you've already walked away from it. So what happens then is usually the other party involved, people, person, is the one left holding the bag. See, they count on you to end up here when things go wrong because they count on you hanging on, claws in. But what happens if you've already walked away? Who has to deal with the Tower and the Ten of Swords by themselves? Whoever created it. And finally, you're able to put consequences on other people, because that's the other thing. When you only can see what the other person did, Leo, you are in fact still engaging in that dynamic because you're resenting them, but also, right, you're the deniability on your end. But the other thing that happens is you deny them their consequences. See, if you look at a situation completely objectively and you can tell, yeah, okay, I also, sure. Then once you've done that, then the full gravity of whatever they did becomes very clear to you and to them. And you are able then, at least personally, karma does what karma does, to dole out those consequences because you have a very clear picture now of what happened. So it's better for you. It's good for you to see those slight imperfections in self in July, because what it does is it gets you out of a situation that's falling apart. Maybe a new situation has nothing to do with the old one, but there is some seed of truth there that you learn and you go, oh man, that's what I was doing? Oh man, that's what the other person was doing? Whoa, that's so much worse than I thought. Boom. The realization hits. You already have so much good luck and so much going on that you're like, you know what? How about I just move along and you guys can keep this circus going without me? Thanks. No more lions in the circus. No more circus. And what happens when the circus loses the lion? Right. So, a joyful summer with the seeds you've planted coming to fruition, the narrow escape from a terrible situation into a bright, big new future. And it rests on the strength of your will. The part of you that often gets you in trouble is the thing, of course, that saves you. It's all you. And what a great time of year to do it too. The liberation, the strength. You got it. Now just make the right choices with it. You're walking around in July with an invaluable little bottle of energy, like in a video game. You can call the video game the Circus. And you've got this little jar. And every time you drink from this little jar, you have all the energy in the world and you're invincible for, a few minutes at a time. These different bursts of energy, starting with that solar eclipse, will hit you. That solar eclipse is in your subconscious, remember that. And for a few moments at a time, your mind is completely clear. And you're able to see and you're able to make the right decisions. And just like a game, just like an obstacle course, you jump over the right things, you duck the right things, you run away from the right things, and then you're free. It's super cool. All right. That's it, Leo. That's your July reading. If you'd like a personal reading, those links are below. One-on-one chat readings and recorded readings. And the instant and the Vimeo extended are the same video, just available on different platforms. One goes straight to your inbox and the other you have to log on to Vimeo. There's also a Leo subscription for those of you who would just like to have it month by month and not have to keep ordering it. There's also a link for these beautiful rings. It's part of a company I started with my best friend. And this is from our current collection. This is from our new collection. This is the High Priestess in African Amethyst. And this is the World. This will be premiering soon. That link for Quietest Revolution rings is below as well. And there are tons of photos of the rings from customers on our Insta. I will link that as well. There's also on June 27th a fountain meeting happening in Copenhagen that my friend Sahara and I are doing. She has a clinic in Copenhagen called Stick My, which is an acupuncture clinic. And we are hosting an event where we'll be talking about empowerment, especially in relationships, and the concept of the fountain. There are Zoom tickets available for the event, so you can watch it online, and your questions from online will be answered as well. I'll leave that link too. Okay, Lion. It's time, huh? I'm really happy for you, and I'm excited for you. And I feel like for a lot of you, this has been a long time coming. But I don't know, it's very nice to see you guys win. You know? All right. Love you. Let's get into the extended right now.